You are listening to Rocket Shop Radio Hour at Big Heavy World on The Radiator. I'm your host, Abby BK, and with us in the studio today we have Red Heron. How are you?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Yes, welcome in. To begin the show, I always just like to have everyone say their name and their instruments or instrument that they're playing tonight. So do we want to just go around and introduce everyone? Whoever wants to start.
My name is Charlie, and I play the guitar and the bass.
My name is Tevin, and I play the keyboard and the bass.
My name is Dylan, and I play drum set.
And my name is Harrison, and I play the guitar.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So tell us a little bit more about how you all found each other and got to be standing where you are now.
It's an interesting story.
I moved to Burlington, this is Tevin, by the way, for those listening. Moved to Burlington 3.5 years ago and just happened to move into Harrison's apartment. Not his actual apartment, his building. And I saw him through his window playing guitar with Charlie once, and I was like, those guys sound pretty good. And I saw them play a duo show that summer, and it's like, we should play music, and we did. And then a couple months later, I met Dylan at a party, and I was like, I have a band, but there's no drummer. Do you want to be the drummer in my band? And he said yes, which was shocking because nobody ever says yes to that question.
You're incredibly lucky.
Incredibly lucky for that. And then, that we've just been playing ever since.
Nice.
Yeah. And I knew Charlie, too, before we lived in Burlington. We went to college together, and we played music together then. So we had some roots back then, but this whole thing is pretty new still.
Yeah. So this group started, I believe you said in your bio, 2022.
Yeah, that's when the four of us
The four of you
started
got
playing.
together.
Yeah.
Nice. So how has it been since? What have been your favorite moments together so far?
We played a van meetup group on South Hero Island that I found on Craigslist, where we played on a tractor trailer hay cart for a bunch of people whose entire lives is centered around fixing up old vans and meeting up in random places. But it sounds weird, but they were actually really chill.
Yeah, a really cool community. Just a great time too. Outdoor shows. I mean, we've really, sometimes it feels like, it's hard to keep getting new ideas, but then we reflect on it's only been 2 years and we've had so many new songs and it's going pretty well, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of progression.
Definitely. So in terms of writing the songs and such, do you all kind of do some writing? Is there one person who takes the lead on that more than the others?
It's pretty collective, I would say. Each of us individually will bring an idea in and we'll kind of work on that, or sometimes Tevin and I will work together and just come up with ideas, bring them to band practice. But pretty much everyone brings their own parts, and then we kind of do the arrangement from there and just get a feel for it. It's not like everything is super rigid and one person's doing it. It's pretty fluid. Try to keep it interactive and fun.
Yeah, sometimes our ideas just come from improvising for 30 minutes to an hour in Charlie's basement. One of the songs tonight, actually a couple of the songs tonight we're playing kind of emerged from that.
Nice. And how often are you getting together to try out new material and practice?
As much as we can.
We try to do 12 hours a day. Once a week, depending.
Yeah. We're all pretty busy, so to be able to practice once a week is pretty good for us, I would say.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Well, we would love to hear your first songs. What have you got?
This is a song called Thanks a Lot, Postman. watchmaker, you gotta know how to set it right. It won't take or even talk when spoken to. Is there hope, Doc? You gotta know how to set it right. Spent all day doing nothing at all. Supplies buzzing in the kitchen and a flood in the hall. Chalk it up to the wasteland, waste paper parking spot. Thanks a lot, postman. Sign here, please, what's my date of birth? Then we'll help you. You gotta know how to spell it right. To be clear, you already found out what's wrong with you. Think you're special. You gotta know how to wait in line. Spend all day doing nothing at all. No, pride sure comes before the fall. Chuck it up to the wasteland, waste paper parking spot. Thanks a lot, postman. Hard being the last man, living in a trash can with fake tan. Thanks a lot, postman. Thanks a lot, postman. Thanks a lot, postman.
Thanks a Lot, Postman by Red Heron. So take us through how you wrote that one. Did someone take the lead on that? Was that one like a really collaborative one? What were the inspirations?
Occasionally Harrison and I get together and just come up with chord progressions. That was one of the ones. He actually didn't really seem to like it very much at first. Or it wasn't that he
Yeah, I feel like
disliked
we
it.
did kind of throw it to the side for a bit. We kind of slept on it, and we're like, I don't know, this might be something, but I feel like we came back after a little bit, and we're like, oh, this sounds good.
Yeah. And then I tend to write most of the lyrics. And yeah, I don't really know what the songs are going to be about. I try to sort of uncover that from the chords and then find phrases that I like, and then usually by the third verse or so, I realize I have to have a point in the song. So, yeah, but it depends. Sometimes we come up with a title for the song and then kind of write it backwards from the title. But yeah, it's usually we're all big on instrumental music and non-vocal music and stuff. So this was the first time as a musician I was ever writing lyrics, and it's kind of a fun exercise, I guess.
Yeah.
And trying to make the lyrics suit the tempo and the feel and the chords and everything of what we're just is kind of coming out of our heads.
Definitely. So what are each of your individual backgrounds in music? Are you mostly, like you're saying, instrumentalists?
Yeah, I mean,
What's
I
your
grew
specialty?
up just playing a lot of guitar. I played in like wind ensemble and band in college too. Played a little bit of bassoon, but some classical stuff, some jazz stuff. Just kind of playing when I could. But when I met Charlie in college, that's when I really started to learn a lot more about playing with other people. And yeah, just writing more music too. So I don't know, kind of a varied background, but I feel like each of us has slightly different musical kind of backgrounds for sure.
Yeah, I studied classical music, and like I thought that was all I was going to do, and then started doing jazz, and I've been like working my way back to contemporary music. I guess maybe we'll become rappers at some point. Yeah, and I don't know, when you live in Burlington, like you kind of like, if you're a musician and you don't play in a band, like
What are you doing?
yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah. Anyone else want to chime in?
I'm Charlie, and this is my musical background.
We love that. I was ready for you to sing before we were on air. We were getting some vocals over there.
That's sick.
Awesome. Well, we would love to hear your second song. So what do you have?
I think we're gonna sing the Pterodactyl song.
All right.
One, two, three, four.
Pterodactyl, 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 pterodactyl. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a word? Is it a name? Fly so high across the ancient skies. Does never understand is why they had to leave a precious land. Pterodactyl, 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 pterodactyl,
Pterodactyl by Red Heron, a song about pterodactyls, you guessed it. So I would love to talk a little bit more about your debut EP that you released, No Birdie. So obviously the songs that you're playing are some new songs. Are you planning on also releasing a new project with some of these? And take us through what that debut EP has been like.
Yeah, we have like a lot of songs we haven't recorded, like most of our songs. Like the EP was just because we had literally nothing recorded, so we were like, shit, we gotta have something or else, you know, what are people supposed to listen to? But we still play some of those tunes. You know, we were really trying to figure out what we sounded like as a band and also like how we recorded, and we did that one at Tank Studio in town, and it's pretty much all done like this, just playing. Stay tuned for more songs.
Yeah, recording is definitely in the works. We're hoping to get some finished versions of some songs out there.
Nice. So how did you choose the songs for the last EP, since you have a bunch of material?
We had a lot less material at that time.
We still had a handful of other songs, so I feel like we just wanted some variety, kind of showcase the different styles of music we were playing at the time. And now, since then, I would say we've kind of narrowed in on like what our band sound is. And the songs have kind of, even the recordings from the EP, those songs we kind of tweaked a little bit at this point when we play them live to kind of match the focus that we've found now.
Yeah. Yeah. Take us through how you kind of like had the vetting process of that. Like, how do you know like which songs go for what project? And since you have so many, are there ones that you feel like really do go together for a more finalized project?
Yeah, I mean, I think like when we started, we were like kind of doing covers and like old folk tunes and stuff, and that was what I was really into at that time, like kind of taking some of the jazz harmony stuff that you're hearing and doing it with those things in there. And like I think eventually we were just trying to like narrow the gap between how we play when we're just completely improvising and how we like write songs, and writing songs that include room for improvisation, so that they're different every time and we don't get bored. Because if, you know, we did the exact same thing every time, then Charlie would leave the band. And yeah, I do think like, you know, we have a couple different like sonic universes that we play in, and tonight we're kind of doing new tunes. Like we had never performed that one before, and we're gonna do another new one. Yeah, I mean, we really love jazz chords, and like, you know, we're all sort of coming from that world, but we're not trying to like sound like a jazz quartet. We're just like, we want to be a band, like a rock group, and have everything kind of feel accessible, but, you know, sound unique, hopefully.
Yeah. So how often do you find yourself writing?
It's sporadic, I would say. It kind of comes in bursts almost. Like, I feel like we get periods, like in a couple weeks, we'll have like 4 new songs at practice. And that might happen like every other month or something like that. But it seems to come in waves where like you get a handful of songs all at once. And it's like pretty exciting to have all that new material.
It does, happen more often when we actually decide to do it.
Yeah.
Then we write a lot of songs.
Yeah, it's hard to find the time sometimes.
Absolutely.
But are there any ways that you also get inspired, like certain places or music you listen to kind of get into that zone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Any specifics? What inspires you over there?
I feel like just sometimes mundane things, everyday things, little phrases that you see when you're reading a book or something that just kind of pop out to you. Combinations of words that seem fun and interesting. Something that makes you laugh, something that makes you think. I don't know.
I take some inspiration from Charlie's artwork.
Yeah.
Charlie is a very prolific visual artist and has his, kind of, he does a lot with like found materials and things. So his house is kind of like a temple to
Get inspiration.
So we rehearse in his basement, and that usually does it,
Yeah, definitely.
That and beer. Beer is inspiring.
A handful of laundry machines too.
Yeah, there's like 5 laundry machines in the.
Hey, whatever works. Do you find that there are any kind of like recurring themes that you see popping up in your songwriting, or do you feel like it is more just sporadic and more random?
You do more lyrics, so maybe you
Yeah,
have more of a time. But
I mean, I try not to have them be like entirely generic. I do occasionally write, breakup songs like everybody else, but I definitely have a preoccupation with, modern life and my complaints about it. And obviously, I have a lot of political opinions, which I'm not going to share on this show. But, you want an outlet for that without being so on the nose that you're just like doing a Facebook rant or something. So I think, definitely like some of the songs have this political bent. Sometimes they have like more of a spiritual component. Not very spiritual attitude. And sometimes, they definitely are just drawing from the absurd, just trying to be a little surreal with it and like not getting too like caught up in like what do the words mean, but just like how does it feel to like sing them and play with them.
Yeah. And so you've mentioned like a range of different kind of genres that have inspired you or that you have backgrounds in. So what kind of music do you all enjoy listening in your own time? And do you feel like that kind of seeps into the work that you do in Red Heron?
yeah, definitely, it does seep in a little bit. I feel like I listen to a lot of older music, but some new stuff too. I definitely listen to some current kind of jam stuff. King Gizzard is a definite favorite of mine, but a lot of older music, and I don't know. I try not to let it influence too much what I write. I feel like at this point we have kind of narrowed in on that sound, and I try to lock into that. And I like listening to music to let it inspire me to play music, but in terms of what we write, I feel like I try not to let it have too much of a say in that. But obviously, it does influence it eventually. It's pretty hard to avoid.
Dylan, what do you like to listen to?
I like to listen to all genres. Yeah.
Nice.
All genres. Are there any genres in particular that you like to drum along to more than others?
I like funk rock a lot. There's a lot of great funk drummers. I like old R&B, like the Motown stuff. And jazz, straight ahead rock, reggae, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Indie, folk.
Yeah, everyone has a wide range. Any other inspirations or any music you've been listening to recently that you feel like has been inspiring you?
Nothing too in particular. A lot of Grateful Dead.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're in Burlington,
Goes
Vermont, of
without
course.
saying.
Vermont Public too.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we all listen to Vermont Public Classical in our cars.
I love that. More people need to do that. Classical music is amazing, and more people, young people, need to get on that train.
It's the brain.
Yeah, definitely. But we would love to hear your third song. So, what do you have?
This is a song called Into the Wind.
Cracks in the pavement, cries on the wind, attracting reactions, a beautiful sin, and lies in the sunrise on a cold, bright, dusty morning, lives forever in our dreams. When you snooze, you lose more than anyone chooses to. The blues is our only relief. So let it rain, let it pour down into my cup of deranged expectations. The sound of our sweet love. Where to go, where to go, where to go, where to come from. Solid ground never found this side of the sun. Currying favor, the spices of life, not fit to savor, what only suffices for a little while, and then it all drifts away into the wind, into the wind. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Where to come from? Solid ground never found this side of the sun.
Into the Wind, Red Heron. Had to let that fade out there to get the full effect. So, talk to us a little bit more about gigging. So, have you been playing around town a bit? Do you have any favorite spots you've been busy at?
Yeah, well, we have a show at the Monkey House next Friday, the 18th at 9 p.m. or so. We're playing with Rose Asteroid, which is another local band. They do kind of instrumental funk. Definitely love the Monkey House. Played there a few times.
It's a favorite spot.
Played at Radio Bean. Sometimes we just have to make our own gigs because nobody will book us. We'd love to be playing more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've there's a lot of bands around here.
There are.
So it's can be difficult, but we're also playing a show in Boston next month at
very
the Midway
fun.
Cafe in Jamaica Plain.
Nice. Any places also outside of Vermont that you'd like to play? So you're going to Boston.
Yeah, we would like to expand outside of Vermont a little more, like kind of New Hampshire area to Portsmouth, maybe Portland, Maine too. I have a friend down in Philly too, so we definitely would like to expand. It's just a matter of making the time, committing to it, and making it happen.
Right. Yeah. I'm from PA, so if you're in Philly, let me know. I'll come
Nice.
support. So, what are your future inspirations? You've been doing this for 2 years. You're doing awesome. Are there any new sounds you'd like to try out? You're talking about new places you'd like to be. And when are you thinking about maybe releasing the next project?
I don't know. I kind of like to leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
Almost like we don't know. We're definitely working on releasing sort of some singles. I think that's kind of our goal, is to put out a couple of individual songs, do some recording on our own. But no real timeline for that yet. But hopefully in the short window.
Yeah, I mean, all of us are not super recording centric. We just like to play. So it takes a lot of willpower to actually record, because we could be playing instead.
Yeah.
But the flip side of it is that the projects don't take very long, because we don't really do a lot of overdubbing or anything. It's just kind of what it is.
Usually just live.
Yeah. Yeah. So would you say that you like that live sound better on recording as well, rather than a produced kind of?
At least I'm more
sound?
comfortable
Yeah.
with it. For me, it kind of, when I start to, we've tried to do tracking on songs, and I feel a little more rigid when I'm playing. But if we all are playing together, it's a little more loose, and I feel like I can take some risks, which is what I like to hear when I listen to music, is someone taking a chance on something. And when I'm doing a very specific recorded part, it's a little harder to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So if you were to play live with one artist, who would Red Heron's dream artist collab be?
Splitting a bill, or they're in our band?
However you want to answer the question.
Does it have to be a current band? Could they be past?
They could
too?
be in the past. You can resurrect them. I'll allow it.
Wow, God.
How do you even choose?
I feel like it's got to be Jerry Garcia, right? If we can have
That'd
anybody.
be pretty amazing, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Farrah Sanders, maybe. That'd be pretty incredible.
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh yes, I'm so glad you say that. She is my top artist right now. I feel like you need a sprinkling of all of your different love of different genres. Well, we always like to give all of our guests a second to shout out how to follow and support what they're doing at the end of the show. So the platform is now yours to tell us how to follow you, find your music, support you, come to your shows, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, if you're in the Burlington area / Winooski area, definitely come out to our show on Friday. That would be awesome. We're on Instagram, somewhat reluctantly, but we are. And, that's where we post about our upcoming shows.
It's just at Red Heron, right?
At Red Heron _band.
Okay.
Because there's another Red Heron in Ireland that doesn't ever post, but they got the handle first. And we're on Bandcamp too, our EP, and on Spotify and all the streaming platforms for that one. It's called No Birdie, like nobody but birdie. And coming to
A city near you.
city near you, hopefully, if that city is Boston.
Your backyard. We'll be there. We'll bring beer.
Always. I love it.
Just let us in.
Well, we would love to hear your final song. So what have you got?
This is a song called Just Desserts, so it seems appropriate to have at the end. It's JD for short.
Hey, how are you doing? How long have you worked here? Is this a place that I may frequent with my family? And hey, what do you treasure? Big house or a car? I sure don't know what I'd pick, but both will take me far, far away from the people. Can't deal with the people, 'cause they live at Home Depot. Yeah, people like me, they wanna look through the people, 'cause they might be lethal. Hey, what is your name? I can't remember mine. It got changed so long ago to be more with the times. Maybe you read my book. Tell me, was it any good? Maybe give a second look before you get the fuck right out of here. 'Cause I can't deal with the people, 'cause they live at Home Depot. Yeah, people like me wanna look through the people, 'cause they might be lethal. Have you ever heard of me? You know who I am. I got my just desserts. Now I'm living off the land. Have you ever heard of me? You know who I am. Got my just desserts. Now I'm living off the land.
Desserts, or JD by Red Heron. Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming on Rocket Shop. It's been great having you.
Thank you. This is a great time.
Yes. And if you do come out with any other projects, let us know and we'd be happy to have you back. And for everyone listening, we will not have Rocket Shop next week, but we will have Fisher Wag in the studio on October 23, so keep an eye out for that performance. As for now, this has been Rocket Shop Radio Hour at Big Heavy World. I'm your host, Abby BK, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Damn.